So, you've decided to buy some physical silver, maybe as an investment or a hedge against inflation. Whatever your reasons are, if you're new to silver stacking and not sure where to start, this is my ultimate guide for beginner silver stackers. Now, as I said, this guide is for the beginner. Perhaps you have less than 15 ounces, or maybe you just heard of silver stacking and have no idea what it is. If so, this video will have a lot of great info to get you started in buying silver, save you a lot of time, and give you some knowledge that can save you a ton of money. First, before buying any silver, there are a few concepts and terms we need to be familiar with. The first term we need to know is spot price and how that differs from the retail price. So what is spot price? Spot price is the global valuation of silver per ounce. So if we look at a silver chart, we can see silver hit $42 per ounce in 1980 and only be worth $7 in 1998. While this spot price is the global valuation of silver per ounce, it is not the price you will pay when buying physical silver. From the refiner to the mint that strikes the coin to the online bullion exchange or your local coin shop, at each step of silver's progress from the earth to your safe, a premium is added onto the spot price of silver. This is the profit that keeps businesses open, mints running, and so on. While we will discuss more on premiums later, the important thing to keep in mind is that premiums are not a set percentage. These premiums vary between different types of silver, or even between two retailers selling the same type of silver. The second thing we need to familiarize ourselves with are the different types of physical silver. Being that we are focusing on physical silver in the investment world, we will leave jewelry or grandma's silverware out of the discussion and instead focus on the three main types of physical silver that apply to stacking. The first type of silver we will look at are sovereign coins. These are silver coins that are minted by a sovereign country. For example, here in the United States, we have this 1 ounce American silver eagle. Canada has their silver maple leaf. South Africa has the silver Krugerrand. And there are many other countries with their own silver minted bullion. The thing that separates them from the next type of physical silver we will discuss is that they are backed by the country's currency. For instance, this American silver eagle is backed by $1. Now, while this coin is worth a lot more than $1, being backed by the government does grant it the protection under law, security, and technically it is legal tender, even though you wouldn't use it as currency. The second type of physical silver we will discuss is generic silver. Generic silver is silver bullion not minted by a sovereign nation and thus not backed by a national currency. Instead, they are minted by a privately owned company and come in an array of designs from all over the world. Generic silver is available in rounds like this Aztec calendar 1 ounce round or in bars such as this 5 ounce Aztec bar. The last type of silver we will cover is junk silver. This is also commonly referred to as constitutional silver or 90% silver. In America, silver was used in dimes, quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins up until 1965. The United States is not the only country to have used silver in their regular coins in the past, but being in the United States myself, it is the type that fits my strategy and is readily available. Junk silver does provide a great way to stack fractional silver. Fractional silver is any silver coin, round, or bar that is less than 1 ounce. The last thing I want to cover before we get into buying silver is the difference between numismatic, semi-numismatic, and regular bullion coins. Numismatic is the study of coins, and in this instance refers to the collecting of certain coins based on rarity, condition, or historical value. On the other hand, regular bullion refers to coins or rounds or bars where the value is in the metal content and not the value a collector may see in a piece. Now, while I like some of the collector pieces and some numismatic coins, I don't recommend them for stacking beginners and typically avoid them myself as they don't fit into my stacking strategy. Just for reference, some examples of numismatic coins would be the graded coins where the condition has been judged and certified. Another example would be the 1894 S Barber dime that it sold at auction for about $1.3 million. Many people do enjoy the collecting side of coins, but that's not the purpose of this video, nor why I buy gold or silver. So now that we have a foundation built, we're ready to go and buy our first silver. Well, almost. There are a few things we want to look at to avoid costly mistakes. First, I'll assume you already have your reasons as to why you want to buy physical silver. If not, you should check out my video on reasons why I stack silver in this video. But assuming you have your reasons, it's time to develop a strategy, and using that strategy to determine what type of silver to buy. For some people, buying a large quantity all at once makes sense. Perhaps they want to protect a portion of their wealth, hedge against inflation, or a potential dollar collapse, and just want to drop $15,000 on a monster box of Silver Eagles and be done. If that makes sense for you, awesome. I'd still recommend pulling up a price chart and doing some research before doing a large investment. For me personally, such a large purchase doesn't make sense. Like most people, I have kids, bills, all the things, right? So I budget a portion of my income to buy precious metals. That might make more sense to you as well. Maybe $100 a month, or setting aside 10% each paycheck to grow your silver stack. Purchasing a large amount has the benefit of paying a smaller premium with a volume discount. For example, looking at these Australian kangaroos, right now you save about 40 cents if you buy more than 20 ounces at a time, or a whole dollar per ounce if you buy over 500. But don't get discouraged, buying smaller quantities over time also has its benefit. With the volatility of silver, if you purchase 10 ounces a month, the price of silver could go down $1 between purchases. It could also go up. This strategy of spreading your purchases out over time consistently also gives you the ability to time your purchases with market news and control your cost average better. This is the strategy that I would recommend to most beginners and is a very common strategy amongst other stackers. 2 quick tips on this subject before we move on. A great way to lower your cost average, or the average cost per ounce in your silver stack, is to mix up what type of silver you buy. If spot price is lower than your current average, grab sovereign coins such as Silver Eagles as they have a higher premium. And if spot price is higher than your yearly average, buy some generic silver as it typically has lower premiums. And my last tip for reducing your cost average, or at least reducing the effect on erratic spot price, is to maintain the same budget between purchases. For instance, if your monthly budget is $200 and the retail price of silver you want is $25 per ounce, you can get your 8 ounces of silver this month. If spot price rises next month to say $27, then you're only able to pick up 7 ounces that purchase. Over time, this means you buy more silver at lower price and less silver at the higher price, and thus keeping your cost average as low as possible just by being consistent in your budgeting. If you want more strategy tips or ideas, be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos. Helping people get into precious metals and developing the best stacking strategy for you is the goal of our channel.
Okay, now we're ready to buy some silver. We've determined what type of silver we're going to stack, and we have a strategy to keep our costs down and not make any costly mistakes. Now, there are many places to purchase silver, and while you may find deals on places like eBay or Facebook group, as a beginner, I would recommend getting your first silver from either a local coin shop or an online dealer. Both have their own benefits, so let's dive into them a little. Buying from a local coin shop can be a great way to purchase silver. In addition to being able to walk out with your purchase and not having to wait on shipping, a good local shop can be a wealth of knowledge. Developing a relationship with a local coin shop can dramatically help you in terms of education, but also gives you an idea what type of silver they like to buy, and in turn what type of silver may be the easiest to sell in the future. A couple tips in terms of dealing with a local coin store are to 1, trust your gut. There are many great local coin shops out there, but if something feels fishy or you're being pushed something, anything feels shady, just leave and find another shop. Secondly, I think it's very important to know the spot price of silver when you're going into the shop. Even better, if there's a specific coin or bar that you're shopping for, know the online retail price of that coin or bar. Knowing this and what the spot price is going in can prevent you from getting bent over by an outrageous premium. In addition to local coin shops, I also recommend buying from online dealers. Personally, this is my preferred method as I live in a small town and my local coin shop is smaller and doesn't always have the bullion I'm looking for. I think the biggest benefit to buying online is that you can shop around. When I've decided to make a purchase, I typically have 4 or 5 tabs open from different online bullion shops. I will compare the price on the items I want to purchase between each of the dealers, finding the best price on the silver I plan on buying. The premiums these websites charge fluctuate. They're not a static set thing. So while one day one dealer may have a better price on, let's say, silver maple leaves, The next day, a different site might have a better price. Maybe they got in a large amount in their inventory, or they changed their price to compete with the other site. Either way, it's best to search around each time you go to make a purchase. So a couple tips when you're purchasing silver from online dealers. The first is to stick with reputable dealers. Don't click on these Facebook ads that'll start to pop up where you're getting silver eagles from China. The main dealers that I stick with and compare between are SD Bullion, Provident Metals, APMEX, and Bullion exchanges. And over time, you'll learn that certain items are typically better from certain dealers. One might be really good for generic silver, while another one's better for sovereign coins. Another important tip when purchasing from online dealers is to take advantage of their free shipping. If a site offers free shippings on orders over $99 or whatever minimum price they've set, make sure that you hit that minimum. If you're purchasing less than their free shipping threshold, be sure to account for that, as it can dramatically affect the cost per ounce you're paying in a negative way. And my last tip for purchasing online is to set up an account on these different sites so you receive emails or texts when they get a new item or put a product on special. These deals can be a great way to keep your cost average low. One note on that is that just because an online dealer puts something on sale doesn't guarantee it's the best buy. Just because an online dealer throws out an email or notification saying they have something on sale or that something is a great buy doesn't mean you shouldn't check around to see if another site's already beating their sale promotion price. Just keep in mind that if the item or sale or promotion that they're running doesn't make sense for your strategy or your budget at that time, it's perfectly fine to pass on it. Spend time developing your stacking strategy and stick to it, as these online dealers need to sell silver when spot price is both high and low. While these notifications and sales and promotions can be great for us as stackers to find good deals, they are first and foremost a marketing tool for the dealers. Over time, you'll gain a lot more experience in purchasing silver from online dealers or your local coin shop, and you'll be able to find good deals in places like eBay or social media groups, or even local sellers can be a great way to add to your stack. That ad experience will also help protect you from bad deals, fake silver, or deals that are too good to be true, resulting in just getting burnt. Now, when it comes to selling your silver, I do plan on doing a future video on this subject alone, but a lot of the tips remain the same as buying. When selling to a local coin shop, know the spot price of silver going in. Having developed that relationship beforehand will give you an advantage for getting a fair or better deal both in buying and selling. And knowing what type of silver they prefer to buy is also great knowledge to have. When selling your silver to an online dealer, like SD Bullion or APMEX, it's important to compare their individual buyback programs. Some may have a minimum amount, whether it's 20 ounces of silver or a total of $1,000. Be sure to call and get a quote to compare the different offers from the different dealers so that you get the best deal for your silver. I myself am stacking for the long term and typically only sell gold or silver that I've acquired through various means, but that didn't fit into my stacking strategy.
The last topic I wanted to cover are the biggest mistakes I've seen with beginners in terms of buying and investing in precious metals. This too will probably end up being its own video in the future. The biggest mistake I typically see beginners making is comparing themselves to stackers that they watch online. They see these tables full of silver and gold laid out by some stacker who's been purchasing coins and bars for 2 years, a decade, longer, and they feel like they're so far behind that they either don't start stacking or they make really bad financial decisions based on that feeling of being behind. So there's a really great quote by Theodore Roosevelt where he says, "Comparison is the thief of joy." If you're a beginner stacker and you see these massive, large stacks online, instead of seeing them and being discouraged, be inspired and find joy in the progress you make. Whatever you do, don't let comparing yourself to a seasoned stacker lead to this next mistake, and that is going all in. That can be taken a couple different ways. One would be putting all of your savings into precious metals at once, or buying too much and overextending yourself. The last thing you want would be to go out and buy a lot of silver, and then some unexpected bill comes up in life, like a car accident or your furnace dies, and you're forced to turn around and have to sell your silver at a loss. The spot price for silver can go up and down, but no matter what, you'll have to wait for the spot price to increase to cover the premium you paid before you even break even. You typically hear the argument that you should have 10% of your investments in precious metals. So whether that's the percentage that you're aiming for, or if you're like me, a much larger percentage of your investments are going to be in precious metals, remember that this is a long-term investment and not a get-rich-quick scheme. If short-term investments are all you're interested in and want exposure to silver, I'd suggest looking into mining stocks. For me personally, I like to hold it. The last mistake I'll cover in this video is buying without knowledge or research. This can lead to buying silver at too high of a premium, something that is fake, or simply getting screwed over. Just like buying a car, the more knowledge you have going in, the less likely you'll end up with a lemon. The more knowledge and experience you gain, and the more developed your strategy is, the more successful you'll be when it comes to stacking silver. If that's your goal, then I would highly suggest subscribing to this YouTube channel. Our main goal is to help you develop a stacking strategy. Finally, I just want to welcome you to the world of stacking silver. Be sure to check out our channel page for even more great beginner tips, news, and strategy videos, and I will see you in the next one.